Gonna go gangster today.
It'll be cool.
All right, guys, so we're back, day 2 of tuning the Red Ninja. This is Eddie, the owner of the car. So as you remember, the issue here was we put a 20-pound spring in there, and for whatever reason, it was hitting 30 PSI. We were starting to tune 93. We're going to do a flex wheel tune on it, but 30 PSI on this turbo specifically is too much, I think, to tune on 93. So we lowered the spring. We tested the boost again while it was still on E50, and basically the boost went up to 27 pounds, which is good. 27 is doable on high quality 93, so I want to get that done today, and then we'll switch fuels and get our 98, the max power that we're going to make. Remember, we're aiming for 1,000 plus, so hopefully this works. Again, beautiful car. Eddie, you nervous?
No.
Okay, good. That's a vote of confidence that I was looking for.
Gonna do a dyno run here. We're strapping her in. What the hell was that? It was big and bald. Le Tuner. I'm gonna need bigger rubber. We're gonna get some new wheels eventually and throw some 275s on here so we get some grab. Eight straps so we don't launch through the wall.
That happened to me when I went to New York.
I know, I saw you fall off. Yeah. Yeah,
I thought it was on the ground.
I was telling Mo, you're lucky it was on the ground, yeah. Thing could have flipped over, you never know what. There's my nice ETS 5-inch intercooler. My Garrett 1200.
What's the nickname?
Great location for the surge. Pardon me?
What's the nickname for that turbo, Eddie?
The nickname?
Yeah.
The Big Dick.
Oh, yes. That's the technical term.
Or we can call it the Big Meat, whatever. Baby 600.
So this is the base run on 93. Because we changed the spring, now it's at 27 pounds. And I'm running, I think, 10 or 11 degrees of timing up top. And I'm telling Mo that this is literally the lowest horsepower on 93 this car will do. We're making a second run. I've lowered the timing a little bit. I'm sorry, I tried to lower the boost a little bit, clean up the Maybach.
With 93.
So on this run, Maybach kind of helped the mid-range a little bit. I also stopped the run a little early. There was no need for it. It was still hitting 27, and and this was it. This was the bare minimum this car will do. Now we're gonna switch fuels.
So everything's right on, and that's the minimum we could make with 93 octane, a little over 600 horsepower. So it's gonna be kind of scary when we move on to the X98, but I don't know. So Mehdi, you said you had to reduce the horsepower because I'm running 93 octane. Why is that?
Yeah, so look, first run we made like 613. I adjusted a few things, I adjusted on my deck. And I can't run below that, and that's, for me, running on 93 is very risky.
Oh, okay.
Mo, can you turn the fan off? Mo, can you turn the fan off real quick?
So what problems does that create with the engine?
93 octane or any kind of I guess octane fuel, petroleum-based fuel, is very highly combustible.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
600, if you do the math, 600 with 4 cylinders, that's 150 horsepower per cylinder.
Yeah.
93.
Yeah.
People usually past 500 just stick to E85.
Right.
To give you an idea what that is, if this was a Corvette and you had 8 cylinders, you'd be making 1,200 horses on 93. You get the picture?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So, good enough that we know that it does this, so you will always be running a bare minimum 600.
Mm-hmm.
But like we talked about, do not run below 30% ethanol.
Right. Mm-hmm.
30% ethanol is good enough that it'll be not deterrent enough for this power level. And you'll clean your injectors. Not enough ethanol to clog them up.
Beautiful.
So, and it's a little cheaper. So if you think about it, it's 30% cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the car's smooth, the turbo's smooth. I mean, I've stopped right before 85, but we're gonna literally do this till 9,000 RPMs. And the best part is your fuel pressure is, your oil pressure is holding.
And you want to go to 9,000?
Yeah, that's typical.
How about 8,500?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
For future reference, always bring your earplugs. This gets nasty loud. I mean, it hurts.
So early on, I mentioned that these cars are very sensitive to slight fuel changes, especially on part throttle at high gravity fuel like X98, and that's basically what I was feeling. The car was rolling, no boost, no nothing, and it was like at 14.1. It didn't like it. It needed like 13.5 during part throttle operations. So I increased the VE in those sections, and it fixed all the issues.
Hey Mo, we still gotta let it warm up a little bit, right? Or is it still hot? I don't really remember. I don't know.
So this is the base run for X98, and I am actually at 90% ethanol. And I didn't pull the RPM all the way. This is the green line. We made like 630 something, still at 27 pounds. And all the difference between the two, the previous run and this one, was only a fuel change. No timing, no boost, no nothing. And this is our base. So on the last run, the car was at like 10.5 AFR, and I wanted to bring it up to 11.5, and I want to get an idea of how much AFR changes make a difference in this kind of fuel, this ethanol mix, and based on that, I will make my adjustments when I'm close to my power goals. So on that run, we made 30 more horses with the same fuel, same boost, same timing. Only difference is before I was running 10.5, now I'm running like 11.3. So just in the fuel making a little bit leaner, I made significant horsepower changes, increase. So this means I know that I can, I'm gonna basically not go leaner than 12 or 12.1, but I know there's a lot of room for increased power if I do go leaner. But I will tune the car up to my max boost or whatever I want to do at 11.3 or 11 whatnot. So right now I feel confident that I can actually test my VE tables for increased boost. What I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna go from 27-30 psi. I'm going to increase the boost to 45, maybe 46. So in that boost range, I have to adjust the VE as well, because this ECU is controlled by VE. I'm obviously going to make it extremely rich, but I know there's a lot of power to be had between 11.5 and 12, but I'm going to intentionally aim for maybe 11, 10.5. So on this run we made 907. The boost was at 45, 46. I also took the RPMs up to 8,500 this time, and it was extremely rich. It was like 11.1, and I think I saw like 10.8 at one point, which makes me very confident now that this thing will go above 1,000 if I increase the boost and add a little bit of timing. So far the max timing I'm running is 14 degrees at red line. So I'm very confident, but I'm also very, very hungry. So I'm gonna do one last run, even very, very rich, just to add a little bit of more boost, the boost that I'm gonna actually make 1,000 plus on. So you made 980 something on the last run, still rich, and I'm running 52 pounds of boost now. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to just leave it, do a run on the boost that I'm gonna be giving the car back to the client with, and just lower the timing and very, very rich. So now I'm very confident that as soon as I come back, I'm just gonna, lean it out a little bit, still under safe parameters, and increase the timing just a little bit, and we'll get to our goal. Let's go for lunch. At this point, Eddie was just on the edge, but I put a stop to it, and let's go relax, cool our heads. Have lunch. And I usually, when there's a big project like this, I do like to take my client out to lunch and just basically, talk to him about what he's going to do, what his future plan is, try to get to know him a little better. Before anyone says it's not fair of me to go to lunch during a dyno session, especially when the car is strapped to the dyno, our shop actually does not charge for our dyno service when we're tuning. It's a flat fee. You pay whatever we agreed on for whatever maps, and no matter how long it takes on the dyno, that's what you're gonna pay. We charge by the hour only when we're not tuning and you're renting our dyno. So we made a 1001, but the car was extremely rich. It was richer than even before. I tried to aim it for 11.3, 10.9, just to see if the boost and the injectors, everything is okay at that boost. But it went 9s, I think 9.5 or something, and we still made 1001. So on this run, I made the fuel a little bit leaner. Alright, so we just finished tuning. It was at 48 pounds of boost, and I think only at near red line, like around 85 or whatever, it spikes a little bit. It has two small 38 millimeter wastegates, but it made 1030, full video coming up. I'm sorry, it made 1030 and on 48 pounds of boost from, I guess, 7,000 to 8,700. And it's still under 18 at peak torque. This turbo is really breathing well. And not to mention, this fucking guy built a 3.5-inch full exhaust on a turbo that flows over or close to 100 pounds per minute. All right, this is a beautiful exhaust. And this is street driven. Usually I wouldn't recommend a full exhaust for a turbo this size, but you can make 1,000 with the full exhaust, but smaller turbo obviously. Originally Matt from Morrison Fabrication actually did all this, and he had a design on the side which I wanted, but Eddie is a much calmer, gentler guy. So you can find him on Grindr. You can go see him. How do you feel, Eddie? Your car just hit 1030.
I'm not calm, huh?
Your car just hit 1030.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Give us some feedback.
I'm glad it didn't blow up.
Okay.
That's all. I don't know. I'm an avalanche guy. I just like 1030s twice as much as my son ever would have dreamed about having. That's all he wanted.
That's all it's for.
And
so
I'm
later
happy
on,
with that.
later on, I want to do a full video on every component in the car, what it means. You're going to be in it. Yeah. Like
we'll incorporate some of my kids' stuff.
You made. How many people's dream you made come true? It's not only you and your son. Me, I'm so privileged that you allowed me to actually be a part of this. Mo, 100%.
I wouldn't have it any other way. The minute I met Mo, I know he was the guy for the job, and when I met you, I knew you were the tuner to do this job. So.
Yeah.
And I knew that Ryan was the guy to fabricate what we needed.
Oh yeah.
From the moment I met him at his shop, I knew that was the way to go.
So Mo, who holds the shop record right now?
Eddie.
At?
1030 to the wheels.
All right. So anybody who's wants to beat this dyno record, come by Blueprint. We got the dyno. We'll do some pulls, and we can have a dyno day out of it.
That's Fast Eddie.
Oh, Fast Eddie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fast Eddie. Excuse me. All right. Stay tuned. Well, that's next. It's gonna make similar power, hopefully, but that's next. So after that last run, we made 130. We checked the plugs, and everything was clean. It was nothing, and I was running extremely rich too. It was like 11.3 or something like that. And I told Mo, like, hey, this car fuel-wise is not where it's supposed to be. I want to put it on the dyno after we changed the plugs, because he had one-step cold plugs. I think they were going bad or whatnot. I want to just check them just for safety measure. And maybe we could strap it back on the dyno. Let me lean out the fuel, increase the timing 1 degree, and let me see what it will do around mid 50s. So we did do that, and this is the log from that last 2 runs that I did. So as you can see, it's, this is the target, and this is the actual AFR. This is the boost, and this kind of reads 2 or 3 psi higher than my boost gauge. And this is the throttle. It should read 100%, but at idle, I think I'm over, the position's over like 3 or something like that. This is the primary injector, which is the FIC 2000s. And this here is the 1300, ID 2000s and ID 1300s. This only comes on after 45 pounds of boost. This is the VE, and this is the new VE that the computer suggested I should have in that certain area, because based on this. So let's take a look. I just hit full throttle, and it's spooling up, and we're in mid spool right here. It's 12 psi, and I'm commanding 12.9 at spool up area, and it's giving me close to that. And as we go further, it's 50, well, let's go back a little bit, 45. As you can see, the secondary injectors is coming on, and this is the duty cycle of how hard they're working. And then I hit 54 pounds of boost, only between, what is this? Between 8 and 9. And you can see the timing is not that crazy either. It's 17 degrees. I know a lot of people that run, 20 plus. I just got off the throttle, but as you can see, the AFRs is pretty, I would say, rich. He still has more in it. So let me show you what this produced in the last 2 runs after we made the video with, the 130. So it actually made pretty good power with the fuel leaned out a bit, and increasing 1 degree of timing from previous 1030 run. And I increased the boost 5, but I think the exhaust is getting in the way, because this turbo is no way near done at 54 pounds of boost. So this turbo, I think, is pretty good. It would definitely make a lot more power with a side exhaust or hood dump. We will try this on a Evo X with a hood dump, and that's our goal the next time, to really test this G series of turbo out. Thank you guys for watching, and more to come on our next project.